What I do know is that these guys face each other all the time. Particularly in the ESL Open Cups, it has been non-stop between these two. And once again, we are guaranteed to have one of them in the finals. Who's it going to be? Spawning in the upper right-hand corner, we have our blue Protoss for Psystorm Gaming. It's MaxPax's. And in the lower left, the red Terran for Team Liquid, Clem. Yeah, these guys often face off against each other in the finals. Of course, if you watch the Open Cups, you know this. Honestly, I'm gonna check and see if they played against each other last week. Or not last week, earlier today. I usually cast the Europe one, but I slept in a little bit. Where are we at? 194? Let's see. No, they did not face each other in the finals because Skillus took down MaxPax's in the semis. But Clem did go to the finals, and he did win. Now, these guys often go toe-to-toe. And, like, the crazy things about these matches is a lot of times if a series is hard to predict, the win ratio between the two players is very close, you get a lot of 3-2s and 3-1s, right? But between these two, I feel like there's a lot more 3-0s than you'd expect. Because something about the way they play, and I feel like there's a certain sense of molding, you know, like if MaxPax's can hold something with like 1 shield battery and 3 units, Clem's like, God damn it, Protoss is so stupid, and then just like struggles in the rest of the series, or vice versa. Maybe like MaxPax's goes for a big aggression, Clem just holds it with some sick micro, lifting up Marines into medevacs to avoid stalker shots and stuff, and MaxPax's is like, God damn it, Terran's so stupid. But we do get 3-0s in this matchup, despite the fact that it's so back and forth. That being said, I'm talking like this is a best of 5. This one's just a best of 3. We're only in the semis. And the winner will go on to face Beyond in that grand finals. Clem's going for a bit of a 1-1-1. Pretty standard opening here. MaxPax's going for Blink. That's the other thing is MaxPax's has been doing lots of Blink all-ins against the Terran. It's not really too much of a surprise, but it just feels like the one thing that he's been on lately. There's that third gateway. And this has been the variety I've seen the most out of MaxPax's for sure, is the 3-gate version. 3-gate, Robo, Blink. I feel like it is a little bit versatile depending on what's going on the other side of the map. Oh, the Adepts sneak in though. They're going to get 3 SCV kills before getting gunned down. Is that worth 3 Adepts? I don't know. Could be. Could be. But yeah, MaxPax's just gonna go ahead and take a third base, and this is where the versatility of the 3-gate Blink comes into play. He decided to just go for the third, and I think part of that is seeing there's no third command center for Clem. If there was a quick third CC that those Adepts had seen, MaxPax's might have decided to go in. But alas, we will get a bit more macro here. Clem, without the third CC though, feels like he's going to go for a push in the relatively near future. He's going to have 2 tech labs on the 2 barracks. So far playing defensively, but once he has all his upgrades, could try to go for a push. MaxPax's heading towards Colossi to deal with that inevitability. Colossi can be very strong against big 2-base Terran pushes. This is why we see a lot of Protoss players go for quick Colossi, whether it's Phoenix Colossus or in this case MaxPax going for the Blink Colossus. It can be a very strong way to deal with these earlier game pushes. Colossi with their long legs and their long beams, long laser beams, can be good. But of course, Ravens can just shut them down. So it's a nice thing to have in his pocket for Clem. Well, looks like Clem might be going for a bit of harassment with this Raven. Wants to send it around the map. It is rallied all the way around. Look at it go. It's going to spot the Observer. They'll spot each other. The Observer used to being invisible. Maybe be a little confused by the Raven seeing it. I don't know if I like him sending that Raven off, though, because it's so important against the Colossi. If you want to go for a big 2-base push, which is exactly what Clem seems to be going for. He does not have a third CZ. Still 6.5 minutes in. MaxPax's is just fully up and running at this point. Scan goes down to see, yeah, this is Colossus play. And maybe Clem didn't realize that. He's got that Raven looking to hit the back of the base right now. Stalkers at the front trying to pick off a couple of Marines here and there. Make this army a little bit less strong. Second Colossus will pop out. Thermal Lance still a bit away. It's a very long upgrade. The MaxPax should have it up fairly soon. Okay, the Raven is going to come back over and join him with the fight. I like this a lot. And actually, maybe Clem wasn't planning on harassing at all. Maybe he was planning on just keeping it safe. He's going to shut down one of the Colossi. Both of the Colossi getting shut down. The rest of these gateway units getting bopped here. The Colossi have to pull back. But now the Natural's in some trouble. The Widow Mine plus the tanks. Oh my god, these Widow Mines getting some huge hits. The Stalker's getting pushed back up into the main base. This push from Clem is clobbering MaxPax right now. But the Colossi are still alive. They're joined by a third one. Well, a lot of damage has been done. Clem's going to have to pick up and get out of there. Ooh, and he's going to lose a medevac on the retreat. A nice catch at the end of that fight from MaxPax. Clem, though, he's got a lot more behind this. So many Widow Mines coming out, my god. And he's finally got that third CC finished. So he's going to try to keep the pressure on while taking that third behind it. It feels like MaxPax is okay, though. He's on a superior economy. With that third base being up for a while, it means he can replenish this army fairly quickly. The triple Colossus, there's just no response to it right now from Clem. Except for having Marauders in the army. Finally, some Vikings being made, but he really needs the medevacs, too. You can't just have no medevacs. Stalker's going to spot these medevacs. Speaking of which... Oh, and the Vikings are going to find this War Prism. Marine finds the fourth base at 10th, and Clem is going to head on over there right now in that direction. Or not. He's going to lift up and boost the other way. I love him. Oh, but MaxPax, man, he's got the Zealots just running through the middle of the map, finds those medevacs, forces Clem to drop out, and stops that big Doom drop from coming in. And now Clem's out here with his army very split, just random units out on the map, some back at home, some in the medevacs. Clem's going to spot this army walking through the middle. MaxPax doesn't need to be aggressive here. He's just trying to push this drop away, kind of constantly keep it away from him. But now he's pushed it back towards his own base. This Observer, again, going to come in clutch here, letting him know about this drop. Battle. And MaxPax is going to start pushing into the Natural. Oh, I don't know if I like this play. He's going to pull back. MaxPax also doesn't like that play. Triple drop being a little annoying here. Might be able to kill this Cyber Core. MaxPax puts down a new one. Oh, this is a bit of a problem for Clem, though. He's going to have to pick up and fly to the corner. MaxPax's army came on back. The early part of this game was feeling very good for Clem, but as it goes later and later, it's getting more and more even. Now, I feel like MaxPax isn't as far ahead as he'd like to be. And by that, I mean he's still a little behind. Usually, I feel like the Protoss would have a lot more probes than 66 on 4 bases. But I don't know. MaxPax, he's a little supply blocked right now. It feels like he's been taking little bits of damage here and there. And it's putting him in a bad spot where he's not feeling great about his game state. Clem, in the meantime, is up in army supply. He's up in workers. While he doesn't have a 4th base just yet, the 4th CC is about to finish. And economically, he should be in a very, very good spot. If you take a look at this graph, yeah, he's been winning the economic game for the last few minutes. Well, he pushes out. Doesn't want to really go fight this. Colossi friendly firing on the Stalker to get that splash damage kill. Now, Clem is nearly maxed. So MaxPax definitely got some catching up to do. He's about 30 supply behind right now. Mostly in army, as the worker count's very, very similar. Drop going to go ahead and pick off some of those Stalkers. MaxPax is coming over to try to clean it up, but Clem is coming over as well. MaxPax needs to be careful not to think he's taking an engagement to the triple drop when he's really fighting the entire army of Clem. Clem grouping everything together. There is a DT around. MaxPax might know, but the EMPs slam-a-jamming right into MaxPax's forces. The Disruptor is going to keep Clem away for a little while, but I don't think there's enough Novas to keep him back forever. One more goes off, so Widow Mine's hitting MaxPax's army, which is still so low on shields. The Nexus isn't done yet, so no shield battery overcharge can come out right now. Another Disruptor Nova goes off. There's the overcharge, going to try to juice these shields up. Clem decides to back up. It's a good start to the fight for him, but maybe committing a little too much. I think he killed 2 of the Colossi, though. Yeah, 3 have died already. So Clem got to be feeling good about that part of the game. But MaxPax, he's got a lot of Disruptors out now. Those are always dangerous, no matter what the supplies are. The Disruptors are always very dangerous. The EMP's hitting pretty hard, though. Oh, there's a good Disruptor Nova. Zealots coming in from the other side, maybe running a little too fast for their own good. Charging forward into this army before the rest of the army shows up. The Vikings take down the last Colossus. They might have to land now. Oh, but they're so bad at splitting against the Disruptors. More Novas coming up from the low ground as MaxPax reinforces. He's on just gateway units and Disruptors now. That's still a very strong composition. Can do a lot of damage. Has very high potential, but also pretty weak. If those Novas don't connect, Clem's army is absolutely better. The hard thing for Clem is dodging those Novas while still taking a decent fight. You often spend a lot of the fight taking damage and not dealing it because you're just running away from Disruptor Novas. Stim, but a little bit late to it, and a couple more Marauders go down. Clem deciding to dive back in, feeling like the Disruptor Novas have been expended. There's one more. Oh, but he's going to hit from the top side. He sees his opportunity, and the EMP on the Disruptors, they get targeted down, and all the Disruptors will go down. MaxPax is on the run, but he is down so much army supply. The reinforcements getting killed. GG. Clem takes game number 1. A very strong start for him with that first push and just keeping MaxPax down, keeping him lower in economy than where he wanted to be. His army couldn't get to that size he needed it to be at. And eventually, Clem with some great movement there, utilizing the fact that the middle of the map is very open and Disruptors do not deal with that well. It makes me feel like MaxPax, I don't know, it's interesting because at the start of that game, we were talking about how MaxPax in the lobby chat, that was MaxPax's map pick. So it feels interesting to me that it's like he wasn't ready to fight in the middle of the map. We don't see a lot of fights there. It's a very dangerous place to be because that moment you get caught off guard, things like Disruptors do not deal with being surrounded well. They're much better in focused areas where your opponent's army is ahead of you and they can't kind of get around big concaves, things like that. Very strong against Disruptors, and Clem setting that up beautifully. He was pretty far ahead by that point already. The Disruptors were making it really hard to close the game out, though. That final move really did it. Excellent play from our French Terran. Now, game 2 is going to be on Gressvan, a nice, big, open map for the late game. Not quite as open of an area, but it's got a lot of meat to it. I feel like we usually get some sick late games here. So let's hop in to game number 2. Spawning in the lower right-hand corner, we have Systrom Gaming's MaxPax's. His opponent in the upper left for Team Liquid, it's Clem. And I see somebody in chat asking about the other semifinals. We actually already covered that one. The other semifinals was Beyond versus Solar. That one is already finished. The winner of this will face the winner of that in the finals. I don't want to spoil it, mostly because this video is going to go on YouTube. And those people might not have watched the finals or the semis yet. So for that YouTube audience, you know. I think I already mentioned who won earlier, though, so I feel like I'm doing all this for nothing. But for my attempt, I feel like I deserve a subscribe, so please hit that subscribe button. Now, game 2 here. I wouldn't be surprised to see MaxPax's commit a little more to that aggression. He had the 3-gate blink last game, which is, there's always the chance to be aggressive with that. He decided not to when he saw that Clem was going to be aggressive, right? Clem was building the barracks instead of the 3rd CC. A lot of potential to make units and send him across the map. But that's exactly what Clem did. And even then, he did good damage with it, even though MaxPax's expected it to be coming. Probe's trying to be annoying here, but Clem will send it packing. That first probe always has to be annoying. Why's it got to be like that? Why can't the probe just be nice? The world would be a better place if the first probe was nice. But as it is, I don't feel bad for it dying. Down it goes. We'll get to see what these players want to go for. Oh, it's a Stargate. Okay, MaxPax's changing it up from his usual blink play to go for some, I'm going to go ahead and guess it now, Phoenix Colossus. There's a number of other things you can do with the Stargate opener, but that's been the most common lately, I would say. Of course, Oracles into Twilight Council is also a popular thing to do, or even into a Robo. Ooh, nice Reaper grenade there. Saving this SCV. Shout out to the Reaper for keeping this SCV alive. Yeah, there's the first Phoenix coming out. We did get to see some Phoenix play earlier. Who was that? Who was that? Was that, oh, that was Skillis when he was up against Beyond. It was a bit of a wild game. Another beautiful Reaper grenade. Jesus, Clem. Bopping these units, bumping them. Blapping them. What other fun, like, onomatopoeic adjectives can we use? Bopping, blapping. Blasting isn't really one, but that's a good one too. Blasting them. Anyways, I started blasting. Blooping? Could be blooping them. It's not really accurate, but it's kind of fun to say. I feel like blooping is just a good word. Now the Reaper's gonna get the scout. This will be the last thing it does. Gets lifted up and it just like radios home. There's Phoenix up. Poor Reaper. Such a good Reaper. Can't fight against air. But now Clem knows exactly what he's up against. No third CC once again, going for an extra racks instead. So far, just the one extra barracks, though. Ooh, the double Viking Cyclone. Going to be really nice. Pushes those Phoenixes away immediately. MaxPax taking his third base. Dropping the Robo Bay. All the good stuff. Yeah, it's an interesting build from Clem, going for just the two Raxes here and focusing on Phoenix, or on Viking production rather, to deal with the Phoenixes. Phoenixes do not want to take this engagement right now, but there are 5 of them to just the 2 Vikings. 2 more Vikings popping out right now, though. These Phoenixes need to be careful. Clem's trying to bait him in. The Vikings have a higher range, but the moment the Phoenixes are on them, Viking is dead. Phoenixes get out of there. Clem has not really been target firing them either, so the damage has been very spread around all these Phoenixes. But it looks like Clem's going to go for the move out. Doesn't have any upgrades on these Marines. A bit dangerous to try to push right now. And as MaxPax sees the push, instead of going for the Colossus, he's going to go for a Disruptor. I like this choice a lot. Very strong defensively. The 2 Immortals here with no stim. I actually don't think Clem should push. This is feeling very dangerous for Clem right now. I feel like he could absolutely overcommit. And MaxPax's third base is up and running. He's ahead in workers. There's no third CC for Clem just yet. He hasn't even started one. And if he loses this army, I think Clem's pretty much dead. MaxPax seeing that push, turn around and go home. Doesn't need the Phoenixes defensively. He's just going to kill 5, 6, 7 SCVs and a Mule. Going to lose a Phoenix for it. Going to lose 2 Phoenixes for it. I think that's well worth it. It's going to give him time to get out some more beefy units back at home. I was thinking he was going to get a Colossus, but who needs it? Just get another Immortal, dude. Immortals are so good. Put those bad boys in a prism, you got yourself a ball game. Oh, Disruptor Nova going forward. Gets some nice connections there. Kills a few Marines. Damages the tank pretty severely. I don't see the Phoenixes, but there's so many Vikings. The Phoenixes might not be that much of a help. MaxPax is trying to pick off some units on the retreat. He's going to have another Disruptor Nova available very soon. But in the meantime, the tanks are going to siege up. Super Shield Battery turned on to keep these units alive. There's some SCVs here as well that can keep the tanks relatively healed up. Bunker's going down. Oh, there's a nice lift up on the backside, trying to pick up a tank. Should be able to get the 1 tank. Loses a Phoenix for it, but in this situation, I think that's well worth it. Nice scan to finish off another Phoenix, actually, there. That's becoming a problem right now for MaxPax. Oh, a big blast as the Disruptor tries to get a hit on the tank. Gets 1 tank. Second hit does not connect, though. And MaxPax, he's very much on the back foot. The push didn't feel like it was going to be strong enough, but Clem just waited a little bit longer, got these units out, and now these Marines do have stim. They don't have any medevacs, though, so they really only want to do it once. Woo! But the Disruptor Novas coming out, the tanks pushing forward. There's 4 of them now. This third base is under assault. MaxPax's in a lot of trouble. He gets out another Disruptor. But even if he clears this up economically, I mean, this is just so much damage. MaxPax has another base coming up to the north side. There's no third base still for Clem. He might have to just float his main out there. Well, Clem making it look like he's retreating, but really he's not retreating. These 2 Zealots are going to find out the pain. I was going to say, you know, maybe there's some medevacs on the way now, but nope. Clem does not care about healing his units. He's like, I want you all to stay damaged. He's building Liberators now. Another Phoenix goes down. MaxPax just can't get the army up he really needs. He's not building Colossi because the Viking count has just been so high. It would be silly. Finally going to start up Blink. I'm sure MaxPax wanted that a long time ago, but just hasn't been able to spend the money to get it. He needs the units out. Phoenixes are going to spot these Liberators coming, but they can't do much more than that. I think there's only 2 of them left. MaxPax trying to poke at this army as it moves across, but he just keeps losing stuff. The Disruptors have not connected. And Clem's getting into position on this base. Starting to siege up the tanks. Oh, he's going to get some big hits here. Oh, never mind. The Zealots on the backside making that not quite the case. But between the Liberators and the siege tanks, MaxPax's going to have a very difficult time engaging into this. And Nova's going forward. MaxPax is just going to pull the probes and leave this base to die. He is double expanding on the left side instead, sacrificing bases so he doesn't die just yet. Is it going to be able to buy him enough time? He dives forward again. 2 more Disruptor Novas. He gets a tank that time. Keeps the bio back, but what's the Disruptor count right now? Whoop! Not a lot of Novas. That one connects at least a little bit. Oh, but man, Clem's going to get such a good and annoying spot with these tanks. He can start working on the warp gate, on these gateways here. Already depowering one. This Robo Bay is in some trouble. But MaxPax, he's setting up for it. He's setting up for the surround. The army supplies are very similar, but Clem has a ton of supply over here on the other side of the map. He's taking his 3rd base now. This is a real 3rd base, actually. I'm a little surprised by that. Thought for sure he's going to float that main base over. I'm still trying to push it on this side. He's moving over on the left. This 4th base that's being attempted is not likely to finish up, but MaxPax is going to close in on this portion of the army, and he will kill all the tanks, all of the Liberators, and force the bio out, what is left of it, into that medevac. He's going to try to recall down here, and he will get the recall off, but the Nexus goes down anyways, and all the recalled units get killed. Oh, the Widow Mine slamming into those Zealots as well, as Clem taking a great fight over here, targeting down the Disruptor, gets it before the Nova connects, and now he's just kiting this army back. Clem has had a lot of army supply now, 81 to 64. The worker count is very similar, and it is 3 base to 3 base. The one thing MaxPax really is going for him is all of these Archons, but unfortunately for him, there are Ghosts coming out, and just 2 EMPs on each Archon, and they are 10 HP paperweights. Already Clem chipping off all the shields from one of these Archons, just stutter stepping back. MaxPax losing units as he's trying to chase this army. Oh, nice little Zealot run by here, forcing Clem to come back to deal with it. But now the army is actually hitting. MaxPax only got 1 Disruptor though, so it's a bit dangerous. MaxPax decides to pull back. Ooh, Disruptor getting pretty far back there. Doesn't even have a Nova to try to protect itself. Oh, there it comes out. Gets targeted down though, and that Nova does not connect. Clem once again, not letting it happen. I'm pulling back. He's got a 4th base on the way. MaxPax is retaking this one and it's about to finish. He just expands, man. It's crazy. He expands so aggressively. We saw it earlier. He was like, all right, you're killing 1 base. I'm going to just build 2. That's like a Zerg thing to do. You don't see Protoss doing that very often, but he wants these bases up. He needs to get them running, and he knows it. And now he doesn't have any Disruptors. He has basically no splash damage. Storm is on the way. These High Templar are so vulnerable and just useless in the meantime. I guess they could try to get some feedbacks off on the Ghosts. That might be a useful thing to do. But Clem is already here, and MaxPax says, you know what, I can't fight it again, and he's just going to give it up. But this time, Clem has some Zealots in the main base, and while it feels like Clem's been ahead pretty much this whole game, MaxPax is making such a game of this. And these Zealots now are causing so much havoc in Clem's base that he's forced to pull a bunch of units home to defend them, dropping these units back at home, pulling everything back. Granted, he did kill that 4th base, right? So that's a huge victory for Clem. MaxPax is making something happen here. 6 SCVs go down. Clem's economy is honestly not great right now. 48 workers. He will have that 4th base up very soon, though, and MaxPax's, his army just, it's not fantastic. It eats EMPs in the worst possible way. There are some Colossi coming out now. The Viking count went down for a little while, but it's still at 5, which is a decent amount to deal with 1 or 2 Colossi. Clem deciding not to chill, deciding to keep that pressure on. Storm goes down. We have another storm available. There it goes. Nice little zoning storms here. Clem going to keep pushing through. Some nice EMPs going off, though. Clem nailing this whole army, and there go those paperweights. Clem starting to push through. He's got a lot of bio. He is hitting at a big anti-timing, though. His 2-2 is just not barely done. Is it going to be enough to force him back, at least temporarily? And all of a sudden, there's +2 of weapons. +2 armor is very close as well. And suddenly Clem's army is about to get a lot stronger in this fight. He takes down yet another 4th base. Huge storm on top of that bio, but it feels so late. GG. Clem takes the 2-0 victory over MaxPax's, knocking him out of the tournament. Clem feeling unstoppable today.